Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Mrs. Cole.
Can we sing Annie Bonjour, Miss King?
Annie Bonjour, Miss King.
Sometimes in your career you come across people that stand out from the rest, that are so genuine and so good at what they do that you just remember them. And she and I are still friends to this day, even though we no longer work together, because My-Ling is one of those people.
When I was writing the nomination, and I had asked all these nominators to, write something about My-Ling, there was one word that kept coming up, and that was the word incredible. She's incredible. She gets the children to want to learn. She engages the children. She welcomes everybody. I know at my school there was a tremendous ESL factor. My-Ling would greet all the parents in their first language.
She's just so excited about everything. So everything has a meaning. Everything is about learning. Everything is about equity and diversity. Everything is about how to move these kids from A to Z in the shortest period of time so that she can keep going on to the next alphabet.
I don't know any other teacher who puts so much energy, spirit, heart, compassion, sheer innovation into her teaching. She is remarkable. I think of her as being very, very compassionate and kind. Most of all, I think about her as being curious, really curious about ideas, about the world, about our place in the world, about what we can do to try to make the world better.
We tend to look around the school and it's like everything that I pick up, I can relate it to Ms. Coleman. Where does that go? So when I look at the eagle feather, I think of the Indigenous piece and the work that she's been working with the kindergartens, with the Me2We program, with all that in-depth understanding. So the idea that our kindergartens are engaged in the understanding of the residential school experience and what that means to the students is important.
Mrs. Coleman has gone out of her way, beyond. She is just amazing, and she's given the kids the knowledge, and not only the knowledge, but the freedom to express themselves.
Hello, I'm My-Linh Hang-Coleman, and I have the pleasure of being a teacher, but also like a dreamer, an inspirer, a coach, a mentor, and just like a cheerleader for like my kids here. So I'm really privileged here. I'm teaching at Eastview Public School, and I have a class of 15 amazing children. I work in a dynamic school filled with lots of different learners, and especially I'm very proud to teach in an Indigenous community here. Someone asked me what's my favorite grade, and for me, I always tell them it's not the grade, it's not the assignment, it's just like the love of teaching and learning, and just to know that, you know what, you've been gifted with the task of teaching other people's children. And I always learn from Cheryl, my first mentor, Cheryl Paige. She said, My-Ling, you know what, parents always send the best. It's not like they leave the cream of the crop at home and they send you all the silly, naughty kids. You have the best that they have to offer, so work with what they have. And that to me is the greatest gift here. So when I'm tasked with creating the best learning environment, it actually comes from the children. It comes from what they love. It comes from where they want me to take them. I memorize quotes, and I tell the kids to memorize quotes here, but the quote that I learned is Voltaire's, and it's appreciation is a wonderful thing, because it makes what's excellent and others belong to us as well. So luckily, I have many people who have appreciated my work, and because of that, I get a chance, hopefully this award I can actually use to appreciate other people, and I hope that other people's amazing feats and everyday kindnesses and nobility can be captured everywhere else here. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use this award hopefully to actually shine a spotlight in the wonderful potential of all children, especially our youngest.